This is One Plus TV. We're very glad to host you guys and feel welcome, feel free, and everything. I hope this discussion will be made superfluous. Is it so?
Yes.
Okay, before we start, could we have the visitors in the studio introducing themselves? First, from the end, Professor.
Yes.
Yes, could you tell the viewers who is Professor? What is the work of a professor? And what does a professor, or what is the professor doing in the today's society?
Yes. As the Banpas TV presenter has just quoted, I'm Professor George from the University of Scotland. I joined them here for the issues of research and issues again of development pertaining political field. And as professors, we not only professional on academic work, but we also enter into the today's social societies. What do people think when someone means a professor?
Okay, Dr. Humphrey.
Yes.
You know, I heard of that name back, was it last year when I was being done for a surgery at somewhere in my arms, and I was like, I was flown to India probably. So, Dr. Humphrey.
Yes.
Who is Dr. Humphrey? Could you tell our viewers who Dr. Humphrey is and what does Dr. Humphrey do?
Yeah, thank you for welcoming me here. Thank you for this studio. As you can start saying, my name's Humphrey James from India. Actually taking the engineer's pocket as doctor, medical surgeon. And I'm here to major focus on these issues that have brought me here. And I could like to explain about what is just asked me about being doctor. The doc is about to welcome the life of a person as we proceed on to this. As we proceed on, we're going to discuss and tell about what it faces about. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, visitors. On the today's issue, probably the main theme or the main idea as to why I invited you, fellow comrades, to this studio is to know where the political line of this great nation, Kenya, is heading us to. Before we start, Professor and Doctor,
Yeah.
I would love if you guys tell, I'll start with the professor. Could you kindly tell me, who is this guy, Raila Amolo Odinga, and why is he so that much mightier in this today's political ideology?
Yes, thank you so much. Raila Odinga is one of the greatest political leaders in Kenya, and is again one of the mightiest or greatest political leader, since we realize that with Raila Odinga, things that he has done or the development that he has brought on board has actually made Kenyans happy and more happier than any other political leader.
Okay, thank you, Professor. So, Dr. Humphrey,
Yeah.
what do you think this nation, this great nation Kenya, could have been were it not for the sacrifice of this great man, Raila Amolo Odinga?
Okay, thank you. For me to start from the term enigma man. So this is a man, if we can explain from now, we cannot finish his effects to this world. Being Raila Amolo Odinga, he has done a lot of things which many Kenyans are right now celebrating of. He was not the only person to sacrifice for his friend from bravest. I think the country Kenya could be not the way it was today.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, when you're dealing with the so-called democracy, devolution, you know, you see this great nation Kenya. Probably, if you look at the the previous constitution, we never had the so-called devolution. We used to have district, we used to have division, we used to have regions, you have a province, you know, something of such. But this great man, Enigma, during the 2010 promulgated constitution, there was an introduction of counties. According to you, I will start with Doctor. How do you see the term devolution according, or since the introduction of devolution? How do you see how countries progress in terms of economic, social, political, and all those co-factors that maintain and develops a nation?
Thank you. According to that point that was mentioned, I can say the devolution is developing as from the first point. Because if I can start from the term infrastructure, the infrastructure of Kenya has really developed since the independence. If you can consider the roads that are being used in Kenya, the flyovers, we get that these flyovers are so developed as you compare to the other countries. I think for infrastructure, the kind of buildings, Big Raila is one of the engineers who came up with the infrastructure map on how to develop these things that we can see here in Kenya.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. So I will go straight to the point. Professor George.
Yes.
I hope you are in Kenya. I suggest, was it yesterday? Yeah, something yesterday. I suggest you arrive in this country by Wednesday. You're already in Kenya.
Yes.
So, according to the way Raila managed to maneuver his ways through the thick ways of Machakos,
Yes.
just to go for a meeting, how do you see that meeting with the campaign meetings and previously before the campaign, or the referendum thing? How do you see that meeting? Remember, that meeting that Raila held yesterday, it is constitutionally mandated. It is constitutionally accepted. You understand? So, according to that, the mammoth of people that gathered at Machakos, probably, how do you, if you compare the mammoth that gathered yesterday and the mammoth that had been, that always gathered during campaign times, or that gathered during referendum times, or that gathered before an election is held, how do you see it, Professor?
Generally, it was a mass of people that ever since I've ever seen in Raila's most street rallies. If you compare the referendum time, if you compare the previous before election and after election, and right from yesterday, what I saw was of greater length. That the group of people that gathered there were almost 3/4 of Kenyans who assembled at Movoko grounds in Machakos. And it was evidenced by a lot of events. Generally, we realized that this is a party that decided to work independently, pushing the current government of William Samoei Ruto on top, so that they can work as per transparency and accountability of the country, and ensure that all the citizens are served equally. So I generally realize that truly Odinga, if he could be in chance acquire president, then automatically the country Kenya could have gone far wide. Yeah, it could have gone far as compared to as per now.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Dr. Humphrey.
Yes.
According to the rise of Raila right now, remember Raila is probably 8 years, something of such, I suggest so.
Yeah.
Roughly 80, yeah?
Yeah.
If you compare Raila back then in 1980s and Raila in 2000s and Raila of today, who do you compare? Does Raila how do you take Raila? Is it the Raila of 1980s who used to struggle for multipartyism, or is it the Raila of the 2000, or is it the Raila of the older age? So how do you take Raila, or how do you see Raila in your perspectives?
Okay, it's for that point I can say that man is an ignorant man. So when we talk about those years back, in comparing to these present years that we have, I can say this man, even if though he's too old or is too good to get old, but is a strong man, is still energetic to work as the people of Kenya. Because the people of Kenya needs him a lot.
Okay, I'm very happy. Okay, as you could see, you know, back then in the year 1990s, we used to have people like Rubia, we used to have people like James Orengo, Mata Karua, Charity Ngilu, those people, Fred Matiba, you see, you have people like Omalo, you had people like Momalo who used to fight for democratic rights. You understand? They were joined together. They joined Raila in the fight for that. So today, if you look at the leaders who joined Raila, do you think the leaders who joined Raila, are they leaders of trustworthy, or are they leaders who will make us proud one day? Or are they leaders who are of political turn? They after this, okay, hey, Yapo, you are remember the eras of Moi? When probably when you used to Snini bring, probably it made Raila to run to Norway through the help of some clergymen from Kampala.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, I get
So yeah, in around 1989, I suggest so. Norway, I think. Yeah. So if you can see, or if you can look at the government of Kenya Kwanza, do you think it is the same government that you used to have in the Nyayo era, or is it the government of a change in the regime? Because like if you can remember, right now the president used to be in the league of the KY 92 squad that campaigned for Moi to go back to power. Do you think this government is the same government that you used to have in Nyayo era, or is it worse than that we used to have in Nyayo era?
Okay, I can talk about that issue that you mentioned, but I think I can answer that the regime for these people of Kenya Kwanza, this regime, if you compare to the regime of Moi, I think the regime follows the way, it proceeds the way. I think it's the way the government is ruling, comparing to the government of Moi, the Kenya Kwanza have that regime.
Okay, back to you, Professor.
Yes.
According to you, do you think this political journey that has just originated just after the concluded general election, do you think it is going to be fruitful, is going to impact the nation, or is it just a political vehicle that probably is meant to build some leader to stand in 2027 to face the then now president? Or do you think there will be something in the middle? I don't want to mention the name, something in the middle, the name of I don't want to mention it.
Yes. Generally, the government of Kenya Kwanza right now is too dictatorial to Kenyans, and in the view that due to on my perspective, I'm seeing that if the rally continues, if Odinga continues with these rallies and Azimio at large, then I hope that this rally will tend to restrict the dictatorial government or dictatorial kind of leadership which is being practiced right now in Kenya, and made Kenyans aware of their rights, made Kenyans aware of what each and everyone should do, so that as Kenyans, they will realize their well-being through that rally that is being practiced by the opposition leader.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you very much. And I believe through this, I know and I believe there will be some outcome. There will be some positive outcome, because this man, Enigma Raila, has never left this nation. Has never. And through all his hard works, that's why today we see freedom. We call it democracy. We call it free. You can express yourself because democracy is maintained. Thank you, visitors, for joining us in Bandpass TV. Feel free. This is your family. This is a home for entertainment, a home for education, and a home. You can feel free to join this channel each and every time you feel like talking to the nation. And before we leave, Dr. Humphrey, could you tell something to the viewers outside there about this political scene we are having right now?
Okay, thank you. So I could want to tell about those people outside, about this political regime that we had, even though life is too hard, we accept it. But we know things are going to change.
Okay, to you, Professor.
Yes.
Before you travel to Scotland, I believe Dr. Humphrey just landed today in the morning. You understand?
Yeah, I learned
So-
it in the morning.
Yeah, so I'm not worried about your stay. Yeah, I know we shall still. So, Professor George,
Yes.
I know probably if not today, yeah, I suggest even tomorrow you can be. I understand. Scotland is. I know you love Scotland so much. So, what do you love to tell the people of Kenya? What do you wish to tell that viewers are there about this political era that has just emerged after election?
Okay, generally, I can first of all encourage Kenyans to take heart, even though they are passing through several hardships. And secondly, to the people of Kenya, each and every one, God has a greater plan for each and every nation. So, we are all praying for Kenya. We are all wishing Kenya well. All in all, the regime will end, since everything that has a starting point must have an end point, and all will be well with Kenyans following how they have planned on the other side of committing their commitment to rallies, and so that the government can change and make Kenya to be of greater length.
Okay, thank you, Professor, and thank you, Doctor. Thank you, fellow viewer who is outside there waiting more from Bandpass TV. Feel free, feel welcome. You can throw your comment in the comment section about this conversation, about this discussion. We will be glad to hear it. We will be glad to have it as an organization. Feel free to contact Bandpass TV if there is an issue outside that disturbs you. I will call these great guys. They are professors, they're landed people in the society right now. We consider them as landed people. Feel free, feel welcome. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. Bye bye.